The night sky explodes with light and fire, a sudden and violent eruption that shatters the calm. The darkness is pierced by the intense glow of flames, turning night into day for a brief, terrifying moment. A ship docked at the port of Los Angeles becomes an inferno. The vessel, once a symbol of maritime strength, is now a blazing beacon of destruction. Flames lick the sky, consuming everything in their path with a relentless hunger. The air fills with the acrid smell of smoke and the screams of men. Panic and chaos reign as the crew and dock workers scramble for safety, their cries for help swallowed by the roaring fire. When the flames die down, the authorities begin picking up the pieces. The once bustling port is now a scene of devastation, with charred remains and smoldering debris scattered everywhere. Investigators comb through the wreckage, searching for clues amidst the ruins. They find charred bodies, evidence of a brutal shootout, and only 2 survivors. The scene is a grim testament to the violence that unfolded, with bullet casings and bloodstains hinting at a fierce battle fought in the midst of the blaze. One is a badly burned Hungarian criminal, the other a small-time con artist named Verbal Kint. Their survival seems almost miraculous given the extent of the destruction around them. Verbal, nursing a limp and clearly shaken, becomes the prime witness to the carnage. His demeanor is one of fear and confusion, yet there is something about him that suggests he knows more than he lets on. He is taken into custody by Agent Kujan, a seasoned but cynical investigator who sees through Verbal's meek facade. Kujan is determined to get to the bottom of the incident, convinced that Verbal holds the key to unraveling the mystery. Kujan wants to know what happened on that ship, who was behind it, and most importantly, where to find the elusive criminal mastermind Keyser Söze. He presses Verbal for answers, his questions sharp and relentless. Little does he know, the answers he seeks are closer than he thinks. The truth, hidden in plain sight, is a web of deception and cunning that will challenge everything he believes. As the pieces of the puzzle start to come together, the line between hunter and hunted begins to blur.
It all started 6 weeks ago in a New York City police lineup. The air was thick with tension, the kind that makes your skin crawl and your heart race. 5 criminals, each with their own specialties, found themselves thrown together. The smooth-talking Keaton, the volatile McManus, the demolitions expert Hockney, the quiet Fenster, and me, Verbal Kint. Each one of us had a story, a past that led us to that fateful moment.
Verbal Kint, played with a calculated nervousness by Kevin Spacey, becomes our narrator. His demeanor is unassuming, almost pitiful, yet there's a glint in his eye that suggests more than meets the eye. He weaves a tale of deceit, betrayal, and desperation. His words paint vivid pictures of a world where trust is a luxury and betrayal is a currency. Kujan listens with a mix of skepticism and growing interest. The detective's eyes narrow as he tries to separate fact from fiction, truth from lies. He sees through some of Verbal's lies, but recognizes a kernel of truth beneath the embellishments. It's a delicate dance, this interrogation, a battle of wits and wills. As Verbal spins his yarn, we are transported back in time, drawn into the criminal underworld that brought these men together. The streets of 90s New York come alive with danger and intrigue, a backdrop for a story that is as compelling as it is elusive. The police lineup, orchestrated by a hidden puppet master, was no coincidence. Each man, it turns out, had crossed paths with Keyser Söze in the past, often unknowingly. Söze, a phantom figure shrouded in legend, operated with ruthless efficiency and left a trail of fear and devastation in his wake. Verbal describes Keaton, a former police officer seeking redemption, McManus, a hot-headed thief with a hair-trigger temper, Hockney, a master of explosives with a wry sense of humor, and Fenster, a man of few words and a knack for disappearing. Each man, bound by circumstance and a shared debt to Söze, reluctantly agrees to work together.
Under duress from Söze's intermediaries, we agreed to a daring heist. The pressure was immense, and the stakes were higher than ever. We knew that failure was not an option, and the consequences of any mistake would be dire. We were to steal a cache of jewels from a heavily guarded police convoy. The convoy was scheduled to pass through the city at midnight, and the jewels were worth millions. The police had fortified the convoy with the best security measures, making our task even more challenging. The plan was intricate, fraught with danger, and required each man's unique skills. Every detail had to be perfect, from the timing to the execution. We spent countless hours strategizing, going over every possible scenario, and ensuring that everyone knew their role. Keaton, trying to walk a straight line, clashed with McManus's recklessness. Their arguments often disrupted our planning sessions, but we knew that both of their skills were crucial for the heist. Keaton's experience and McManus's daring nature were both assets we couldn't afford to lose. Fenster, always looking for an out, grew increasingly uneasy. His nervousness was palpable, and it affected the group's morale. We tried to reassure him, but the fear of getting caught was always at the back of our minds. And through it all, I observed, narrated, and subtly manipulated the events unfolding around us. My role was to ensure that everything went according to plan, and I had to be the calm in the storm, guiding the team through the chaos.
Verbal recounts how the group, under duress from Söze's intermediaries, agrees to a daring heist. The pressure from Söze's men was relentless, and we had no choice but to comply. The heist was our only way out, and we had to make it work. They are to steal a cache of jewels from a heavily guarded police convoy. The convoy's route was heavily monitored, and any deviation would trigger an immediate response from the authorities. We had to be precise and swift in our actions. The plan is intricate, fraught with danger, and requires each man's unique skills. Each member of the team had a specific role to play, and their expertise was crucial for the success of the heist. From the getaway driver to the tech expert, everyone had to be at their best. As they prepare for the heist, tensions simmer within the group. The stress of the situation brought out the worst in some, leading to heated arguments and disagreements. But despite the tension, we knew that we had to stick together to pull off the heist. Keaton, trying to walk a straight line, clashes with McManus's recklessness. Their differing approaches to the heist often led to conflicts, but we needed both of their perspectives to cover all bases. Keaton's cautious planning and McManus's bold moves were both essential. Fenster, always looking for an out, grows increasingly uneasy. His anxiety was a constant reminder of the risk we were taking. We had to keep him focused and ensure that his fear didn't compromise the mission. And through it all, Verbal observes, narrates, and subtly manipulates the events unfolding around him. My role was to keep the team on track, to anticipate problems before they arose, and to ensure that everyone played their part to perfection. The success of the heist depended on our ability to work together despite our differences. Section 5, the heist and its fallout. The heist, executed with precision and a healthy dose of luck, goes off without a hitch. Almost. The criminals make off with the jewels, but soon discover they have unwittingly stolen something far more valuable. A mysterious suitcase belonging to Keyser Söze himself. This unintended theft sets off a chain reaction, drawing them deeper into Söze's web. Suddenly they are being hunted not only by the police, but also by Söze's lieutenants, eager to recover the suitcase and its unknown contents. Section 6. Unraveling the threads. Agent Kujan, piecing together fragments of information, begins to doubt Verbal's account.
I see inconsistencies, improbable connections, and I sense that you're holding back crucial information. Verbal.
He presses harder, challenging Verbal's version of events. Through a series of flashbacks, we witness the aftermath of the heist. We see the group's growing paranoia, their desperate attempts to stay one step ahead of both the law and Söze's wrath. As the body count rises, so too does the question of who will survive this deadly game.
As I recount the story, you might notice a subtle shift. The nervous, self-deprecating stammer, well, it disappears. I become more confident, more assertive. My words, they become measured and deliberate.
Kujan, though initially dismissive, finds himself drawn into Verbal's web of words.
And then there was the final confrontation on the ship. A massacre orchestrated by Söze himself to eliminate all loose ends. According to my account, I was the sole survivor, spared by Söze for reasons unknown. Let me paint you a picture of Keyser Söze. He's a mythical figure, a phantom who instills fear and commands absolute loyalty. His origins? Well, they're rooted in a tale of unimaginable brutality that solidified his reputation as a force to be reckoned with.
As Verbal speaks, the legend of Keyser Söze takes on a life of its own. He becomes more than just a criminal, he becomes a symbol of unseen power, a phantom lurking in the shadows, pulling the strings of fate. Just when Kujan believes he has Verbal figured out, the rug is pulled out from under him. A detail from Verbal's story, a seemingly insignificant name scribbled on a bulletin board, triggers a realization in Kujan's mind. The pieces of the puzzle fall into place, revealing a truth far more shocking than he could have imagined.
Verbal Kint, the meek, disabled con man, is Keyser Söze. The entire story, meticulously crafted from details gleaned from the police station, was a fabrication, a masterful manipulation designed to distract and mislead.
Kevin Spacey's performance as Verbal Kint is nothing short of mesmerizing. He seamlessly transitions from the bumbling, nervous wreck to the calculating, cold-blooded mastermind. His portrayal of Söze's ruthlessness is both chilling and captivating, and The Usual Suspects is a masterclass in suspense, a film that keeps you guessing until the very last frame. Its intricate plot, memorable characters, and that unforgettable twist ending have cemented its place as one of the greatest crime thrillers ever made. The film's enduring legacy lies not just in its ability to entertain, but also in its exploration of deception, identity, and the nature of truth itself.